Welcome to the 2011 Skid Row State of the Union Address. Unlike last year, we're changing our format. We don't have the suit and tie, and we don't have the flags and the podiums. This year, we're taking a more grassroots approach, basically because we want to be more identifiable to the people that we represent, and that's the homeless, mentally ill, and the people that suffer from poverty in and around Skid Row in downtown Los Angeles. My name is General Jeff, and I'm a community activist for the Skid Row residents of Skid Row. I'm also on the board of directors for the downtown Los Angeles Neighborhood Council. And we want to start this year's address. You know, there's no script. We're just coming, you know, from the heart. And we basically want to begin with sending our prayers and condolences to all the families in Arizona as a result of the tragic shooting there. United States Congresswoman Giffords, to the judge, the 9-year-old girl, and all the rest of the families. You know, we really feel that was a tragic situation, and we hope that Congresswoman Giffords gets well really soon. Also, in Egypt, there is currently an uprising with the people there, as well as prior to that in Tunisia, and even currently now in the country of Jordan. So us as people here and going through a struggle, we are also upset and hoping for change. And so that's what we recognize within the country of Egypt, that's what the people want. You know, the people want change, and not just in Egypt, but all around the world. You know, people want change. People are really upset, and people are unhappy, and that's exactly the way we feel in Skid Row. Will we overthrow our government, or will we speak out loudly? Probably not, because we're trying to survive, and we have other issues in terms of where we're going to sleep for the night, what we're going to eat that day, and how are we going to just survive day to day. And so we have a little more in terms of survival that's more pertinent issues than the actual policies and procedures and the way that government is being run. But we are in tune, and we're watching. The reason why that is so important to us is because maybe not as high as government, but a little bit lower than that, just focusing in our Skid Row community, we are concerned and disappointed with the Skid Row infrastructure. We're definitely, this is the year that we're crying out, not only for help, but we're crying out, more importantly, for reform. Because the Skid Row infrastructure that is in place, we feel is old and outdated, needs to be upgraded and in touch. And it's not just about housing. See, there's a big misnomer going around that everything else in a homeless person's life is fine, they just don't have a home. That's why I personally don't care for the term homeless. There's so many more issues in that, the majority of which people are suffering from poverty. You know, and so it doesn't matter the demographics, whether, you know, in the Skid Row community, there's so many different demographics, and the people are comprised of, you know, we have veterans, we have mental disabilities, we have physical disabilities, you know, AIDS and HIV, you know, we have sexual predators and sexual pedophiles, and, you know, you can go on and on and on in terms of the different various demographics. You know, we also have kids, you know, but then there's a lack of family housing. So we talk about the specifics of the Skid Row infrastructure. You know, there's no need to do the big speech or, you know, a presidential type speech. You know, we did that last year, and the issues are still the same. So we're coming with a different approach this year, a grassroots approach, and hoping to get the reform that we need. And so this is very important, that not only do we represent this Skid Row in downtown Los Angeles, we recognize that there are many other Skid Rows in America. And, you know, not only are we trying to help to lay the blueprint of survival, if you will, for our Skid Row, but all the other Skid Rows in America can identify and draft with this, as any other country, third world country, or any other city, community, village, tribe that suffers from poverty throughout the world. So we also acknowledge the struggle, and we share the struggles with all of you, and we hope that we all together can upgrade our current living conditions, because it's impossible from a physics standpoint to pull something up from up top when you're standing on it. So when you talk about Skid Row, we're on the bottom of the totem pole of life. So the people on top of the totem pole, it's impossible to pull us up because they're standing on top of us, if you will. The easiest way to pull up Skid Row is to actually get beneath it and push up. That's why myself and other community activists in and around Skid Row are actually trying very, very hard to push from the bottom. It's so much easier, and as we rise, everyone above us automatically rises as well. And so we think that is the proper way to rebuild the country from a grassroots standpoint. To the people of Skid Row, we think this is the year that we really need to focus on education and organization. It's really simple. Our voice has to get louder. You know, just moments ago I referred to the country of Egypt and how the people are taking to the streets with one common cause. And I believe that in Skid Row, the climate is that many more of our community residents now are getting housing, are feeling a sense of stability, and now are taking pride of ownership in their community, and are now demanding to be respected as a community. And so now that the organization is starting to come. It's a natural process that's actually coming into existence. At the same time, the lack of education in terms of how to organize, what to organize about, and how to accomplish and get results from said organization is is where our current issues are. And so once again, that's what community leaders such as myself and the others, we're focusing on this year: education and organization. We're doing it from a grassroots approach, and we realize that the current presidential administration, even prior to becoming president, President Obama himself was a community organizer in the streets of Chicago, and we feel that that past knowledge will actually help if we can make that connection to get through to him, and that's one of the reasons why we're constantly doing these videos. The current presidential administration created a brand new branch of government, and it's called the Interagency Council on Homelessness, and I have paperwork here from them that in terms of their contact information, we went to their website, and what it is we're trying to reach out to them. So they have an office based in Washington, D.C., near the White House, where the federal government operates. You know, that's fine and dandy, and that's wonderful, but us here in Skid Row in downtown Los Angeles, we're 3,000 miles away. We need a regional office right here in Skid Row. We need to be able to reach out and touch a representative of the Interagency Council on Homelessness, and the reason why we're demanding that is because Skid Row is commonly known as the homeless capital of the country. So how can you have an agency that focuses specifically on homelessness and not have an office within the jurisdiction of the homeless capital? So, you know, we've reached out to them via email and through their website, and we're waiting for a return. In the meantime, we will continue our efforts to address our issues with the local politicians through local and state governments. And so that is basically the current state of our Skid Row State of the Union. Thank you for watching, and take care.